Hi, I'm wrapping up the day, June 5th it is, with one more video. This is the third one I've done today, but I want to take us through the end of the chapter, and then tomorrow I'll begin Appendix 4A, okay? But I do want to give you all a small assignment to do once you're prepared, finished preparing, I should say, for the quiz I have to give you. So let's get started. Okay, we talked about the short sale. The short sale is a risky proposition. You can see that it can be very lucrative, but you've got to be gambling on the direction that the market is going to move. I showed you why the short sale, or how is a better word to use, the short sale can help you by making on a gamble a $15,000 profit. Not bad, okay? And I closed my last lecture by reminding you that you are gambling against the market and people who are very, very good at doing this, okay? So if you're going to short sell, make sure you do it right, and make sure, it's like a trip to Foxwoods, make sure you never invest and certainly never short sell with money that you cannot afford to lose, okay? All right, here's the short sale going the other way for you. Now you're gambling on the market dropping, so you think it's going to drop, and you short sell Verizon 1,000 shares at 50, and now your broker expects delivery in a couple of weeks of 1,000 shares. And Verizon does not cooperate. Verizon instead goes up to 55 bucks, okay? Now it's time to close your position, and you have to spend, you've got to go buy $1,000 at the market price. You've got to spend 55 grand to cover your $50,000 bet, okay? So you gambled and you're lost, and as they say in Latin, sic transit gloria, thus passes glory, okay? You lose the 5 grand, plus you lose commissions on both ends. I didn't factor commissions in here, but you know that on a sale or a purchase of stock, commissions, additional costs do exist, okay? Once again, short selling is not for the faint of heart. I do not do any margin trading, as I said in my preceding lecture, and I do not do any short selling. I'm not condemning it. I'm just firing a warning shot across your bow that it does add another element of risk. I don't like to gamble unless I have an edge, okay? All right, we're closing the chapter 4, with the efficient market hypothesis. It's very deep and complicated, but I'm just going to give you a very, very fast overview. Okay, it answers the question. The EMH, as we call it, was developed by a fellow named Dr. Eugene Fama, F-A-M-A. I think it was at the University of Chicago. It's still called a hypothesis, but it has enough elements have been proven by subsequent people where you could really call it a theory now. But we still call it the EMH. First of all, can an investor beat the market consistently? Stats show that is not the case. No, they cannot, okay? So one of the problems with statistics is that they're usually based on past performance. I'm going to show you how to use stats into the future in another chapter later on. But essentially, you always have to be a little careful of people that say you can always gamble on what's going on in the future by what has happened in the past. That was the challenge that Dr. Fama was facing. He developed his hypothesis in 3 forms: weak, semi-strong, and strong. Okay, and I'll fly through these real quick. The weak form basically says past prices have no bearing on valid or worthwhile predictions about future prices. Okay? There's an old joke, what do you call 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of an ocean? A good start, okay? And I got that joke from a lawyer, by the way, so don't be offended. But the point is, the past can be a good start, but historical trends should be considered, but they can always change in the future, and therefore they lack reliable predictive value. That's one of the things that Fama set out to prove when he developed his hypothesis, okay? All right. His semi-strong form says that the market price, especially now with the rapidity of the technological age making information become available faster to us, is that the market price of stock reflects all knowledge available to the public, but not that of insiders and experts who understand how the company really works. Don't forget, officers of corporations are not allowed to use inside information, but they are allowed to buy and sell stock. Where is that gray area, okay? Are they always going to know a little more than us? Okay, the insider trading rules say that all information must be available to everybody. The playing field must be level. It still falls to you to go get it. It just has to be available, okay? So the semi-strong form says that prices will adjust very, very quickly and insiders can earn superior returns. Does it cross into illegal insider trading? The answer is maybe, I don't know, sometimes. Sometimes it does happen. The strong form is that the price of stock nowadays reflects absolutely all information, including what's known to insiders. That's how fast the prices of stock adjust. Okay? The existence of this type of efficiency is questioned because, again, insiders always have an edge. Okay? Let's remember our friend Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart did not go to jail because of inside trading. She went to jail for perjuring herself. Her broker was the inside trader, and he did go to jail. I don't remember his name. But there was a joke about Martha Stewart that said, did you hear about Martha Stewart's new chicken soup recipe? You boil a chicken in 3 quarts of water, and then you dump the stock. Think about it, okay? So yes, she did not go to jail because of insider trading. So in any event, strong form is pretty much rejected. Weak form is just the start point. So professionals have pretty much concluded that the semi-strong form of EMH does exist. There's always going to be a slight little time lag on what's known to insiders and how it comes into the outside world and affects the price of stock, because the price of stock is largely affected by us. Okay? That's the EMH, the efficient market hypothesis. Here's a quick example. You've got a stock plodding merrily along the way here. Let me blow that up a little, make it easier to see. The blue line indicates the price of the stock, and of course along the x-axis we have time, trading days, okay? In a very strongly efficient market, this helps graphically to make sense. Let's say in red there, that's the date of a negative news release, something that's really negatively going to impact the price of stock. If the market were very strongly efficient, bam, it would drop just like that, like a rock, okay, and adjust to a new level of trading, the price adjusting for the negative news. Okay, now in a less efficient market, let's call it the semi-strong market. Maybe semi-strong, the slope of that green line would be a little steeper, but let's call it an inefficient market, okay? Word would start getting out. Insiders might know about things sooner. The markets would adjust more slowly. So from the point of the negative news release, the price would adjust more along the slope of the green line than the sudden sharp drop of the blue line. Okay, so that illustrates efficiency versus inefficiency. Somewhere in the middle of those two extremes, I would say the truth lies, and that would be the semi-strong market. Okay? All right. I hope that helped you understand the EMH. I mention it here because we're talking about the markets, and also because it's one of the 5 principles I started this entire course with. Okay, very good. I am going to have to ask you all to do some homework for me. Read this little blurb on page 83 about charting history. I won't ask you about that, but you might find it an interesting read. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do these problems for me. Exercise 1, 2, and 5 through 8. Okay, I will list those under our assignments. Okay, so at the end of chapter 4, do number 1 and 2, and then do 5, 6, 7, and 8 as well. Okay, now I'm going to record my next lecture on the appendix. I'm going to start it at least because there's some really cool stuff. Students started asking me more about actual execution of trades, so I decided to write an appendix. And it really worked out well. I made it into a lecture for speaking to groups at the college, including their investment club. So I decided to add it, to append it to chapter 4. So it is part of our curriculum. Okay, now I've got a lot of time left in this video lecture, so I want to address the quiz I have to give you. I'm speaking to you on the 5th of June, and I'm leaving town on the 8th of June. So what I'm going to do is, before I leave, I'm going to launch our first quiz. Now, you haven't had a chance to really do work on Chapter 4 or have any interaction with me through email on Chapter 4, and certainly not 4A, which is part of this week's module. So I'm going to make the first quiz of our 2 quizzes only on the first 3 chapters, and there's a lot of material there. What can you expect? It's going to be completely online. I'm going to give you a few days to get it done, okay? So I'll see if I can lapse it into the weekend. So if you have a work schedule that makes weekends better than weekdays, I'm trying to accommodate both types of working people here in my class. But once it shuts off, it's off. Okay, I can't let you do anything after the deadline. So I will indicate what that deadline is. What you're going to do rather is you're going to scroll down once I post it to a link. You're going to see it. It's going to say midterm quiz. You click on it and the quiz will launch. It's going to be all multiple choice. Okay? You can do the test multiple times. Okay? Now here's the deal. I can give you multiple attempts but no feedback, or I can give you immediate feedback but only 1 or 2 attempts. Okay? Most students opt for doing the multiple attempts. So because of majority in the past, that's the way I'm going to do it. You can make unlimited attempts up to the deadline, which I will announce. Sometime Saturday, I'm thinking. Okay? The computer will take you the highest score. But the point of an online quiz is to simulate to as close a degree as possible the conditions of my actually giving it to you in a classroom. Okay? So therefore, I can't give you immediate feedback. All right? But I'm trying to make up for that by giving you a lot more time. Okay? I don't know about you, but I always used to get test anxiety. One of my sons works better under pressure. I do not. So again, this I think will accommodate everybody. Again, it is all multiple choice. Now you know as well as I do, when you take multiple choice, a lot of times it's easy to eliminate 2 out of the 4 or 2 out of the 5 answers right away. Okay, take a look at the quiz from that perspective. No surprises. The quiz will be on materials that we have reviewed, that I've focused on, that I've mentioned in my video lectures, okay? It's all in the book. It's all there for you, and you'll have plenty of time to do it. I anticipate no more than 15 to 18 multiple choice questions, okay? As you take the test, write your answer down. Because if you decide to take it again later, or if you lose power or something, and you restart, the A, B, C, D answers will scramble. So write your actual answer down, not just 1A, 2D, 3C, that type of thing, okay? Another thing to consider is I give partial credit. Now each one of my questions is going to be worth 3, 4, 5 points. If the answer is D and you answer A and you send me no work, I can't help you. It's wrong. But if you write down for me an assumption, or if you solve part of a mathematical problem and show me that you've got the right idea, now I can give some partial credit. I can give you maybe 2 out of 4 points or something like that. So write your work down. I don't care if you write it and then scan it for me and email it to me. If you do it in Excel, if you do it in Word, I'm not grading on neatness. I'll accept any work as long as I can decipher it, okay? And I will consider it as I grade your quizzes. Now the computer is going to assign you a grade. That is not your grade, okay? Because number one, I have to assign partial credit if you send your work to me, and the computer doesn't know how to do that. Secondly, I do apply a slight scale. Okay, so please, 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 please send me your work. It will help you. Almost invariably, it will help you, okay? And again, make sure that when I post a deadline, you get it done by that deadline. That's the only thing I have to really be strict about. You may use all materials. You can use all the notes, all the PowerPoints I've posted, all my video lectures. Obviously, you can use all that. This is an online course. There's one rule, and I cannot be flexible on this, and the college is really good at enforcing this, is you must do this solo. There can be no collaboration. I have to mention that. That's not an issue with my continuing ed SCS online classes, okay? But it is something I'm required to say. There can be no telephone or email contact or collaboration in any fashion between anybody, okay? Aside from that, those are the rules. If you have any last-minute questions on the dynamics of the exam, please make sure you write to me, get in touch with me. You can even give me a call if you catch me in, okay? That is the end of our Chapter 4 lecture series. Please do those homework problems for me. And again, the quiz, the midterm quiz, will only be on Chapters 1, 2, and 3, okay? Do a good job for me preparing. You guys are doing a dynamite job with everything. You're doing a good job with the discussion questions. Thank you for that. Make sure you meet my Tuesday night deadline for those, okay? And stand by for more information on Appendix 4A, and get to me with any questions. Have yourself a nice evening. Bye-bye.